This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. Calling in is Brigadier General Blaine Holt, and he's Brigadier General, and he was Deputy United States Military Representative to NATO, and he knows his stuff. Well, General Holt, I think the American people are confused what's going on with Iran, what's going on with the Gulf, what's going on with the Strait. Where do you want to start?
Well, thanks for having me. Listen, operationally, this is going so well, and we should all be very proud, first and foremost, of our men and women in uniform who are just executing the mission quite flawlessly and making it look easy, but it's anything but. And so we start right there, but then we get right to the strategic level. And what are the president's objectives right now? Well, the first thing, first and foremost, for many reasons, is you got to get these straits open and you got to get shipping going. And I think we're on that path. This is another area where we're waiting with bated breath because we've got very big concerns, not just about oil costs and fuel costs, but about fertilizer and food and electronics, a lot of things there in the Gulf. But then the third one is we can't let this regime stand. We can't let bloodthirsty murderers and terrorists have a revenge case for us for the next 30 generations. So we really do have to aid and abet this revolution of these burgeoning revolutionaries in Iran who want to take back their nation, and we should welcome them into the nation. Those things are achievable. They're going to be achievable in weeks and maybe a month, but not years. This is not going to be something where we look at Iraq and Afghanistan and it's a never-ending proposition, in my view.
You know, in the oil industry, that I'm been in the oil business for 45 years, and so a lot of people ask me, and I said, look, you weren't complaining when President Biden had $90 oil for 4 years. President Trump, maybe for 1 month, maybe 2 months, but that's it. You know, when this thing is settled and we get rid of all the terrorists, we're going to have $55 to $65 oil again. I guess the big item is the Strait of Hormuz. Can we make everybody feel safe? What's going to happen with Hezbollah? I mean, the loose ends there. Hamas looks defeated. The Houthis, are they behaving themselves? And Iran, what are we going to be left with in a few more weeks?
Well, so you raise a really good point about the proxy groups that Iran has turned to create this turmoil for the longest time. Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas. Well, there's no more life support system for them. The money will dry up. They're orphaned. And when you're orphaned, you're either going to come off the table by military force, which the IDF is finishing off Hamas, what's left of it, and Hezbollah now, and there's reason to believe the Lebanese might take a hand in that. And then the Houthis, they talk a big game, but they see what's happening in Tehran, and so they're probably going to be looking for a new deal soon. But where is this all going? It's all going to a place of incredible opportunity on the other side, because the president doesn't see the status quo. The president sees a place called the Abraham Accords, a demilitarized foreign policy based on multitudes of religions and traditions and ethnicities working together where they do have alignment, and that is in commerce. And there is a lot of commerce to be had there in the Middle East, as you well know.
Now, let me ask you: you've been at NATO, you've been in Afghanistan, you've been all over the place during your term with the military. It looks like we have united the Arab countries, but there were traditionally the Arabs, which are a different kind of Muslims than the Iranians, Shiites versus Sunnis. Can the Arabs unite with Israel and the United States and get rid of the terrorism that the Iranian people, the Iranian government, not the people, the Iranian government was pursuing?
They absolutely can, and they're on that track now. The Arab states just this last week got a good dose of what it looks like when Iran throws missiles in your direction, and they're really unified now, and they're unified with the United States because they have a lot to protect. But getting back to the different sects of Islam, you have in the mullahs and the Ayatollah of Iran, the Shia sect, which the Ayatollahs have always believed in this thing where more chaos creates this thing called their own Messiah, the 12th Imam, to come back. But here's the good news. The good news is that group is only 10% or less of the Iranian diaspora. They are effectively hijacked and have been since 1979. The Iranians will represent themselves as a predominantly Zoroastrian country, Christian, Buddhist. The Kurdish have a big population there. And so what you'll see is a multicultural society come through if they get our help, and they'll be good for everybody because the engineering, the mathematics, everything in that nation portends a nation that can really come out strong and make a big difference, but a friend to all, enemy of none.
The Arab countries are business people. The Israelis are business people. The United States is business people. It seemed like the Iranians were the troublemakers and creating trouble with the Hezbollah and the Hamases and the Houthis. Once we settle that down, we should have a peaceful country, a peaceful world.
I think you're on a great vector, but let's do a quick autopsy and go to where the origins of this are. In 1952, the British impaneled the Shah. The Shah eventually didn't play ball with British Petroleum, and then here comes in 1979 the British and French concoction called Ayatollah Khomeini, and then you have that revolution, which is really aided and abetted by those Western countries. Then we get to this new place where we're at now. So what we don't want to see, and what I think the president is very attuned to when he looks at things like Lloyd's of London pushing back, Keir Starmer not letting us use our basing, NATO dragging its heels. He's not about to let Iran fall into sectarian violence and balkanization. That would be a disaster, and we're going to make sure that all the other entities and tentacles with leverage points and agendas are not a part of that as we look to safeguard this victory that the president has us and the world community onto.
Well, anything else you want to tell the American people on a Sunday morning?
Stock up on some food. We might see some turbulence in the days ahead with supply chains out of the loss of some of these fertilizers and urea products for our trucking. But listen, take heart, because on the other side of this thing, we're going to resolve this, and there's going to be a massive amount of opportunity on the other side. Good days ahead. I
agree with you, and what I tell people, buy the equities, buy the stocks, and guaranteed that the oil will be cheaper in the next 60 days. And thank you so much for coming on, General.
Oh, thank you so much, my friend.